Hi viewers, this is Nane Kuya here, A to A talk show hostess. Today's episode is very interesting and exciting. So today on Discovery, I got this very interesting photo that I want to show to you. I found this photo during my discovery and research, and it's actually amazing to look at. I watched a documentary years back, and I know these people are real. This is the photo. Just look at them. Let us know if you know the story behind these beautiful Africans. Please let us know. Just enlighten us a bit about who they are, why they dress up this way, at what occasion. Just tell us the story behind this photo. But please don't forget to send your photo if you have any interesting photo, any photo that tells a story. Just send the photo to a2atalkshow@gmail.com, and we are going to feature the photo on the show. All the episodes will be uploaded on YouTube. We are on YouTube as African to Australia TV. We will also upload it on Facebook, as you already know, A2A Talk Show. We are also on Instagram and Twitter. Just follow us and then watch this show. Are you wondering where I got this beautiful dress from? Well, I will tell you. Nakins collection. They are about to launch their website very soon. As I said, if you want to purchase dress from them, please contact them on their email below. So today I'm catching up with the president of the Queensland African Community Council. Welcome to the show, Robert.
Thank you, Nana.
Just introduce yourself to everyone so they don't know who Robert is. So who is Robert?
My name is Robert Mukombozi, originally from Rwanda, and currently the president of the Queensland African Communities Council.
So you originate from Rwanda?
Yes.
From Rwanda. And you are the president of the entire African Community Council. What kind of experience have you had in relating with people whose background are different from yours?
Of course, when we talk about...
You are president, and you are president of the whole entire African community, so not Rwanda alone. There are Ghanaians, other African communities. So what kind of experience have you had with people from different background?
I should say, being a president of such a very diverse group of nations and cultures is something very rewarding. So more broadly and more generally, I should say it's a very enriching experience because you get to interact with people from different countries, from different cultures, from different traditions, from different colors, from different practices. It's very enriching in terms of not only learning about different cultural practices, but the different ways that people really run their life and what they value in their communities and their families and as individuals. So it's very colorful and very enriching.
So we elected you as the president of the entire African community, not for the fun of it, but for a purpose. So if I don't ask you this question, I will be queried by audience that I didn't ask the question that I'm going to ask. Ever since you became a president, what have you been able to achieve?
Of course, as the leader of the Queensland African Communities Council, I will speak on my own behalf, but also speak on behalf of our entire team in Queensland African Communities Council. A very passionate team, a team that has very diverse skills, a team that is very diverse in terms of cultural background and nationalities, and the achievements we've had are very varied and diverse. One of those is making sure that we consolidate those gains that were made by past leadership. We need to take the audience back to over 10 years ago when QACC was established. It was a very long journey. Along the way, lots of achievements were made. Our first target was to ensure that we consolidate those gains in terms of making sure the Africa House is up and running, which is our headquarters, making sure our usual Africa Day Festival is up and running, making sure that our ongoing projects are really up and running. And in the achievements that we've been able is one, to make sure that those gains are consolidated and progressing very well. The other side is making sure that we develop new policies and projects. One of those projects that I'm always very excited and the entire African community should be excited about is the Migrant Youth Vision Project. This is a project that we are running
I've
with.
not heard of that.
It's ongoing, up and running. It's a project that we are undertaking with Multicultural Development Association, MDA, to empower young people and the youth between the age of 15 to 24 to make sure that they are engaged in education and training. They are getting the jobs that they need. They are getting the placements they need. They are connected to sport. And above all, they are engaged in meaningful and productive employment along the way.
They are engaging in the placement that they need. What do you mean by that?
So with placements, it could be placements in the private sector. It could be placements in government. It could be placements in community organizations to be able to get the required work and skills that are required in the main bigger labor market.
I don't know about this, so probably maybe I'm not current. But you succeeded Elijah Boo, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I would like to ask you this question. So, what are some of the things he did that you have to come and fix?
Perhaps there's no fix here because past leadership, even after the previous one, all the leaders have done an incredible job. Excellent. Making sure all the African communities and nations across Queensland are fairly represented. Everyone is on board. Making sure we have a house that we can call our own, which is Africa House. Making sure we have the right policies, we have the constitution and all the policies that make sure the organization is functional. So there was nothing like fixing here and there. What we've done is to make sure we consolidate what we've gained over the years, but also make sure that we drive QSCC to another level. And that level has been one, creating meaningful projects that are going to engage our young people, but also make sure that we have serious discussions with government, community organizations, with the private sector to make sure that African Australians benefit from the jobs that they need, benefit from the services that are provided by different stakeholders, make sure that actually those services provided to our members are responsive to the needs within the community and not just top down.
How much support do you get from this past and one president? Do you get support from them? Yep,
the past leaders have been very instrumental in making sure that they continue to contribute.
Okay.
And I think that sets very good precedent even to other leaders that will come after myself.
Okay, so then what are some of the examples?
Some of the examples is that there are key advisors within our advisory board.
Okay.
They are also part of the Assembly of African Community Representatives, which is the assembly that brings together the African leaders from all the nationalities to make sure that we present the issues, but also present solutions to those issues and be able to recommend the relevant stakeholders that can intervene.
Yeah, Robert, in regards to the comment made by the multicultural minister, Peter Dutton, just recently.
Yeah, the Minister for Immigration and Border Protection.
Yeah, okay, Peter Dutton.
Yes.
About refugees being illiterate, and you wrote a letter.
Yeah.
You wanted them to apologize to you. Why did you act that fast? To me, why did you reply to that letter?
We had, like any other community, the African community was very outraged with the comments of that specific minister. So we made sure that for our voice to be heard was to make sure that we make an informed response, not to respond on impulse, but also make sure that really we put out meaningful response to make sure that the community was very outraged by such what I can call uninformed statements from a person in such a place of authority. And our media release from Queensland African Communities Council was to make it very clear that the refugees are not in this country to take anyone's jobs. They are here because they've been persecuted in their home countries or countries of origin. They've come to this country for safety. So we need to welcome them. We need to empower them to be very productive in the Australian society. And that's what Queensland African Communities Council is doing to make sure that our community, regardless of whether you're a student, whether you're a professional migrant, whether you're a refugee, you are empowered to contribute productively. And such statements...
So you believe what he said was right, but the way he put it, is that what it is?
Yep, I can't say that the statements he put out were right. No, they were completely misplaced. That's why we had to respond.
Okay.
But in our response was to make sure that we indicate to the public, because sometimes the public can be misled by such a person in an area of high authority, but also to make sure that refugees are not here for fun. They've come through all forms of hardship, and to make sure that we highlight that their journey to this country was not just a bed of roses. So the last thing they need is such statements that are really demeaning and really trying to attack the refugees.
I read something from ABC website about this same man, Peter Dutton, and he was trying to give an example, or of the reason why he made that comment. And then there was a data collected from, I think it's late 2013 and 2014, which found out that 44% of female and 33% of males did not understand spoken English. Spoken English prior to arrival. So,
yeah, but even then, coming off such statistics, I mean.
So he was trying to tell us the reason why he passed that comment.
Yeah.
It's not him just coming out to say anything, but the fact.
Yeah.
It's there.
Okay. The fact is there. I would have thought that the response would be in a more informed manner. Maybe talk about those statistics, because there's no way those statistics are relevant to the statement, because we don't know whether that percentage is occupying any of the jobs he was talking about from people who are skilled. If he had said that percentage has taken over the jobs that should ordinarily be in the hands of skilled people, then I would have found some relevance in the statistics that he subsequently mentions. But now that there's no relevance, we still maintain that the information we provided in our press release and the response was there to educate the respective minister to make sure that the refugees, our members, are not really taking the jobs, and they are not illiterate. And by the way, not having a fair understanding of the English language doesn't mean you are not skilled, because we have doctors, we have engineers, and other very highly skilled individuals from their respective countries. They speak French, they speak German, they speak Arabic, and because they don't have 100% of understanding of the English language doesn't necessarily mean they are not qualified. And that's the point that we are driving at home.
Did you get a response from them?
I don't know, no response to the Queensland African Communities Council, but I think there was also no response to the other communities that were outraged. But so is the language of
because
the political language.
I also read something from ABC about him saying that he's not sort of sorry of what he said. He's still keeping to his word, so which means he's not going to apologize anytime soon. So what happened if they...
I think from our side, as Queensland African Communities Council and the entire African community, is not to keep pushing for the apology. But it's just a reminder that we need to inform the relevant stakeholders in key areas of authority who are misinformed by either some sort of statistics here, some sort of academic paper there. Our responsibility is to continue to educate them. And that's what, as Queensland African Communities Council, will continue to do. Not only to educate the relevant minister in question, but all the different stakeholders.
Okay. Now, Robert, let's move on from here. So what is your plans for African community in Queensland? What is your future plans for?
The future plan of Queensland African Communities Council is to make sure that we continue to provide a strong voice to all Africans who are in Queensland. To make sure not only do we do the key advocacy that we need in key areas, but also make sure that our members and the African community is very well placed in Queensland to be at that competitive edge where we get the jobs that we are meant to get, make sure we get the placements, make sure our individuals are connected to education, training, and employment pathways, to make sure that we are fairly represented, not only in the social aspect, but also the economic aspect of Queensland, and continue to be productive.
Thank you very much for coming, Robert. But as I said, I'm going to put you on a hot seat, okay?
All right.
I'm going to put you on a hot seat. So this is your question. What are some of the policies regarding Africans or refugees that need reviewing here in Australia?
Of course, when you talk about policies, we have policies within our own.
I'm talking about Australia, about Africans and refugees that you think this thing need to be reviewed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same conversation that we've had with different and relevant stakeholders.
Okay.
Policies around the way the different stakeholders view Africans. And we tend to find some of the things surprising, but they shouldn't be surprising. But because we get to find them here and there, you get to learn that there's more that you need to educate the different friends of the African community. And one of those is thinking that Africa is one country. We speak one language. And therefore, the needs are the same, that everyone is a refugee. So when you get such a perception, and you get to learn that that's how the bigger chunk of the stakeholders would view Africans, then that's when we get to know that there's a lot of work ahead. But what we've done is to make sure the entire community, the wider society that I'm talking about here, to make sure that they understand we have different classes and journeys in which Africans have ended up in Queensland. Others have come as professional migrants, others are refugees, others are students, and therefore the needs are as diverse as our journeys. And therefore the policies should reflect the needs of different demographics, as well as the different groups that are represented here in Queensland and beyond.
Thank you very much for coming to the show. If you have any question for Robert, you just have to put it in the comments below, and I'll get Robert to come and respond to your question. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks very much, Nana. Thanks for hosting me.
Thank you, viewers, for yet another time. Next episode is also going to be very, very exciting and interesting. So if you want to watch these shows, you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, we are on Instagram, and we are on Twitter as well. Just follow us, and we will see you again next time. My name is Manekria. Bye.